All right, welcome everybody. This is the second roundtable that the Forgotten Runes team is doing. It's going to be just on land plots, NFTs related to the game, and gameplay around land. So, welcome. I run a guild, founded it called Rome GG, specializing in Forgotten Runes. So, jump in, link in the description below, and just checking volume, checking chat. Let's go. People are trickling in. So yeah, stay tuned. Should be starting literally in a minute, and then you'll hear only the voices of the team from Forgotten Runes, Magic Machine, and the game developers themselves, who are from the Bisonic team. So Hugo might be right here. Hugo is on the game development team for Bisonic, and there's also where's his name? J Lord, I think his name is. But yeah, they'll be up and brought up on stage. But enjoy. Definitely join the Discord. Trying to one of, if not the only, most active and organized Forgotten Rune guilds, if I must say so myself. So we're gonna go into 2025 at the end of the month. It'll be global live service launch of the game, MMORPG on Ronin. So yeah, prepare accordingly. If you have any questions, definitely ask in the Discord. We have links and information and great community members who are willing and able. It takes a tribe, so good to see more people getting involved. Yep, the floor price for land has been going up. All the speculation based on playtests. The Wizards' prices are kind of stable. Nothing too crazy going on there. But I think proven utility in the game is going to probably bump the prices up for those. Yeah, you can currently look at the updated live paper that gives all the information. They updated their website, Forgotten Runes website. Oop. And then Hugo's on stage, so let's check audio. Mic, okay. Output capture. Hopefully, yeah, none of them are unmuting at the moment. When unmute. Oh, Bruce as well. He's from the Bisonic team. Hugo Bruce, hired by Bisonic, as well as Helen. Maddow, I think, is with the Magic Machine team.
Can everybody hear me? Hello, hello.
Hello. Yeah, hearing you loud and clear.
Amazing. Good to hear your voice too, Hugo. Let's get started. So as promised, I'm going to open things up with a land demo for us. First of all, some of you will be familiar with a lot of this because, well, you have plots of land. But for those that aren't, I'm going to take you through the way things are looking. Oh, hello. Yeah, we are on the dev test build right now. So you'll see a few people testing live. Gonna open my inventory, head to this chest, head to this paper, which stores my seals for different types of land. And let's head, I'll save the town for later because it's giant, but why don't we go to a settlement to start things off? Okay, here I am. So, couple new things to show you. Let's get building. First of all, permissions. You can now add co-owners and builders. And the main difference here is co-owners will share in the quanta you earn from your plot of land, and builders just have permission to build on that plot of land. So I'm gonna build some things right now. Let's do it.
We are also joined by our creative director, Tanilo, on stage.
Tanilo, feel free to jump in whenever you'd like, Tanilo.
Hello,
Thanks for
hello,
coming.
hello. Thank you for having me. No, I'll be here answering questions if they come up.
Cool.
Clarify things.
So people have already seen our houses, but we have more than houses coming with the launch builds. We have some gathering stations. I'll build one of those for you so you can see. Temples. I'll just click through so you can check them out. They're really, really large and lovely. Forges. And workshop. Red, blue, yellow, green. The atelier. I'm not sure how to say that in a not French Canadianish way, so atelier perhaps. There are mage halls here on the test builds, but they won't be there right at launch. They'll be coming in a later build.
Ooh, a little sneak peek.
Sneak peek.
Helen taking my reputation for all the alpha leaks.
I could never beat you at that, Hugo. No way. A larger gathering station here. So let's, do a little build. Why don't we do?
And maybe while we're building, Danilo, could you maybe walk us through the benefit of owning land, just in case anyone, is newer here, has recently joined from Crash the Runiverse or the Rifts? Why do you want to own land in the Runiverse?
So to begin with, like owning land will give you a lot of leverage in the community, right? So the idea is that landowners will earn quanta for things that players do with their buildings. So what we wanted to was to create a synergy between landowners and like regular players, right? Where landowners are incentivized to invite people to build on their plots. And then like whenever a player does a certain action in that plot, like the owner has a chance to earn quanta, right? So to give you an example, right? Like let's say you own a plot of land, and I'm part of your guild, or like I'm a friend, and so you give me permission on your plot to build, and I build a forge, right? And so whenever players go into the forge to craft items, you have a chance to earn quanta, right? And I, as a building owner, would also benefit, right? So there's like different levels, right? So the regular player would like benefit from having a place to craft the item that they want, right? And after a certain point, certain exclusive recipes will only be available in in like player-owned buildings, right? So there's like this incentive to, okay, I'm gonna invite people to my plot of land, right? I'm gonna make sure that like players are aware that like they can come here, right? Maybe, oh, I really like red wizards, right? So maybe my plot of land will have like a red forge, also a red temple. So whenever players offer items in the temple, I'll have a chance to earn quanta. But beyond that, what we're looking for is finding a way of um, like we're thinking, right? And like it will also be like a learning period for us of um how do we incentivize players, right? How can we reward owners, both landowners and building owners, right? So I'll give you an example. What happens if like a plot owner, a temple owner has a chance to earn mana as well, because he's like players are earning mana through the temple, right? And we're still figuring out like different like incentive and rewards, but like our main focus is always we want non-owners and owners to work together, right? Like to make it like a symbiotic relationship where like, okay, maybe you're an owner, you build things in your plot, but I as a non-owner, I'm incentivized to go to your plot to either build, right, if you give me permissions, or if not, to use your building because we'll both benefit.
Cool. I also want to show just the scale of the town here because unless you have a town, you might not realize how giant they are. So I built a temple for scale here. It's one of the larger buildings. But so here's the border line. I don't know, we
Yeah,
should start a timer.
we were actually
Go ahead.
having some questions. No, I was saying we were actually having some questions earlier in the Discord, but somebody was asking for like a scale, like to see like the like how buildings fit on plots of land. So this, I told them to hop in because this is the perfect time to show them like this is how one of the building types would fit on this kind of land, right? So this is a town, right? Or is a yeah, this is a town plot. So
So as you can see, we're still not all the way around the border. Give us a minute.
it's huge. It's huge. So as you can see, you can fit quite a few buildings on here, right? Like that's just that's just the temple. And so
Yeah.
there's multiple buildings. There's multiple buildings that you can build on this plot. So as the smallest plot is the homestead, where you'll be able to have your like a humble home for yourself or a gathering station. And then as they grow from there, they grow quite large as they scale up. So
Sure do. And yeah,
we
we
have
can even, I'll go to a homestead just so you can see relative to the size of this town. You can indeed.
Pixia Chu asks, can we change the building? Yes, you can actually demolish your building and build. So if if you build a gathering station or whatever, and you feel like, hey, we want something else, you're free to change that out. That's perfectly fine.
Oop,
All you need is the
looks like we're
resources to do so.
all right. That will conclude our land demo. I see we're doing some tests here as we go. So
This
yeah,
is the
that's the
internal
gist of
test
it.
server. There we go. It's back. It's
Oh,
just
we
it's
did
the
it.
internal test server. It's not giving as much juice as the lives.
Fair enough. But this is my whole plot of land you can see, right? So I have one house here.
Is this
And
the Fae? Are we looking at the Fae?
No, I don't think this is Fae. Is it? No, this is not the Fae.
Oh, okay.
It's a great plot.
Yeah, I'm so lucky.
Let
Too
me see
bad
how you
it's
decorated
not
that.
my real wallet.
Did you? It looks like you put your freaking wizard on as a mantle on your
Oh,
building.
Dude, that was
does
the
actually.
vision.
That's
Yeah, 'cause,
amazing
you know, you can change the
customization.
wall colors, you can change the
Yeah.
property up front, the whole deal.
Mhm.
So thank you for noticing, Matto. It means a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, you can customize your buildings to make them stand out. So like it's not so you can actually and that depends on the resources that you use while you're building it. So if you have a lot of like a rare resource, like I'm guessing this is probably emerald that was built here, and so like you get
Yeah.
like that green color and like other resources change the color or change the structure itself of the building. So you get a lot of customization options to make your stand out. There's also the building style skins that have been like in the quantum gifts, and they're also in the scale bound chest. So you'll be able to actually deck out your exterior and interior with those. Those will be special exclusive skins. So if you have one of those, then you have one of the building types that will definitely stand out, since there will be very limited amount of buildings that are able to customize like that.
Something that's really cool is if you build a city stone, your plot will show up on the map for other people too.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, she's going through the options right now, huh? Yeah.
Yes, I prepped a little video for while we're talking here. Do we have
Awesome. Yeah.
any
So
other
yeah.
questions for Tanilo or Bruce before we move on from land?
Yeah, let me scroll through and see if there's any questions I missed really quick. Let's see here. Just a quick question. Somebody asked if they can mint when they get in. Not for the Rift events, the short events, but when the game is live service, you will be able to mint items again. So
There you have it.
somebody asked if the game is coming to Android. Yes, Actually, it's a browser-based game, so it should actually be playable out the gate, but it's just not fully optimized just yet for all devices. So your mouse may vary depending on what device you're using. But we've had reports of people that have been able to successfully play specifically on larger screens. So if you have like a tablet, that's probably more ideal for it right now until we optimize better to have like an on-screen joystick and stuff. That's gonna come later down the line.
Yeah.
But
We
yeah,
also did announce when we published our recent Web3 thesis that standalone apps are planned for later on
yep,
after early access. So
yep,
mobile and iOS in the future.
as well as console releases.
More on that later.
More on that later,
More
yeah.
on that later. Not later this roundtable, but later
Yeah,
future.
not this roundtable, but yeah, we'll be able to announce more on that later. Very exciting news.
So
Okay, let me
shall we
see.
move it to? Oh,
Sure, sure.
maybe
Oh,
some
somebody
open.
asked, this isn't really related to Dan, but somebody's asking how many members are allowed in one guild. That is actually a question I do not have an answer for. Maybe Bruce and Tanillo.
So in this release, we won't actually have guilds yet. So that's something that's coming later on, and then we'll share more details in the live paper when we have that all defined.
Cool. Somebody asked on a settlement. Let's see here. Can a house and small gathering fit on a settlement? Oh, so I'm assuming a small house and a small gathering station. So if you can have both on one settlement.
On a settlement, you'd be able to have 3 gathering stations and a house, for example.
Okay,
Right.
so you can have 4 of the small ones. So a small house and 3 gathering stations can all fit on one settlement.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's the answer for that question, Pony Boy.
Helen, do we want to invite some folks up on
Yeah,
stage to ask questions?
Let's do it.
sure.
If
Yeah, if you
there's
have a
anyone
question, feel free to raise your hand, everybody.
to open things up and break the ice here, I'm sure a lot of you have had a chance to read our Web3 thesis now. And I'm sure you also saw our plans to integrate other tokens on launch. I'm wondering what tokens you'd like to see in Forgotten Runiverse. So, anyone wants to jump on mic and let us know, or even type it in chat? We're very curious.
Looks like we have a speaker, Mikey Python. Let's bring him up.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, welcome. Welcome to the
Everyone can
stage.
hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right, I just had a question. You said token integrations. I was wondering, any plans on doing anything with other Ronin games, specifically Pixels? I like to play Pixels. That's like my main game right now. I think it'd be real interesting if you did something with them, kind of the top Web3 games. It'd be nice to see.
Yeah,
That's
we're also fans of Pixels, and um after announcing that we'd be bringing like partnered projects tokens into the game, I feel like really anything's a possibility. So I mean, Pixels would be amazing. Yeah, it'd be great. I guess we'll just have to like wait and see how all of this unfolds. But yeah, I mean that'd be an amazing partnership one day.
Yeah, that's
Sounds
definitely
good.
one
I'm
of
looking
them.
forward to the game. Thanks for the answer, guys.
Yep. No, no, no worries. That's definitely one of the most requested ones. That's
Really?
Yeah,
we'll
that and
keep an eye on
Ronki.
that. And that and Ronki, yeah. And I will say, like, that's part of the reason why we've pushed out this partnership thesis too. So like, yeah, we definitely will be looking towards like, any top games, especially in the Ronin ecosystem, right? Like we're all family here. We feel like,
Mhm.
well, rising tide rises all ships, right? So we all help each other out, interoperability. And so, being able to look into what other games on Ronin especially are doing and seeing if we can integrate them is definitely probably going to be our top priority.
Sounds great. You guys are doing a good job. Thanks for the
Thank
answer.
you.
Thank you.
Hey, is this
Somebody
another?
asked really quickly if a guild hall is required in order to create a guild.
A guild hall will be required, yeah, but it's still not. We haven't announced the design for the guild and stuff yet. It'll be
Yeah.
something that comes later in live service.
Yeah, essentially, guilds aren't going to be in this build just yet. So for the specifics of guilds, that'll probably have to be like for a later gameplay release. As we get closer to it, we'll have more information on how those function exactly in game and what it takes to create them and such.
looks like we have another speaking request. Ray, I don't know that
Yay.
I've met this community member yet. So
Well,
let's all meet Ray.
did you get some sleep from last night?
Not exactly, not as much as I hoped for, but yeah, that's never the case here in Web3, as everyone may know. But howdy, everyone. There was an impromptu conversation that Hugo and Matt opened up in the Forgotten Runes server last night, so that was pretty cool. I got to ask many questions there, but I did have some leftovers to save for today, and I think if
Amazing.
yeah, and shout out to you guys for building what you've been building for so long, and everyone in the community. It's a pleasure to be here. It's so exciting. So gonna have a great MMO at the end of the month with no delays, right? Okay, thanks guys. But for the question, the live paper is amazing too, the updated one. But I had a question related to Quanta. So for building owners, Quanta is needing to be used to upgrade the buildings. So that's already established, it's well known. And mana is just to upkeep the building, so to keep it operational. And so for the Quanta side of it, when you upgrade a building with Quanta, and I'm the owner, and then I destroy the building, what happens to that Quanta? Is that like the sync? Is that like a type of sync mechanism? And I'll stop there because I have a second part of this question.
Yeah, so right now when you destroy the building, you'll lose the quanta. So including quanta, you'd spent in upgrading the building.
Okay, so now when when the plot that a owner has is rented out, and they upgrade the building, if that's a possibility, which I think that is a thing, does the same thing apply? And does it apply for mana? Because when you put mana in to keep up the building's operation, is it all a sync, or what gets given back? Because in the life paper it does share that upon destroying a building, something gets there's like a kickback of the amount that was put in, but I forget if it was mana or quanta or maybe nothing.
So at launch, mana upkeep is actually not live at launch. So I mean, for some people that might actually make them feel a bit better at launch that it's not there. But at launch, mana upkeep won't be there. We are looking at kind of options for, once you destroy the building, like returning some percentage of the stuff that's invested in it. But there's challenges, I think, like you correctly called out, with the shared ownership and the ability of multiple different people to contribute to the building.
Right.
So actually, there's a similar problem, right, with decorations and interior objects, but that one we have it's more solved, because like when they're all separate NFT assets, we just return them to the person that sort of owned those NFT assets and place them. But the most likely thing will be for mana, like if you contribute mana, and then the house or building gets knocked down, that the mana would, if we did return any of the mana, that it would go back to the owner. And then the owner would sort of have to kind of decide, really who would own the various parts of the pool, as opposed to trying to find some way to proportionally give it back.
I see. Okay, that's like a disclaimer for everyone. I hope it's maybe somewhere on the screen where it's just like you won't get your mana back. The owner will if he destroys whatever you just built. But I guess we'll see how that goes, as you said. And then I guess I have one more question, and I'll just hop off, although I have many. When it comes to minting gear, so we know that we'll be able to, find the recipe, inscribe the recipe, then craft the recipe, right? Whatever it is, a spell or armor. And once I mint it to sell it on the Ronin marketplace, and correct me anywhere if I'm wrong in this flow chart of things. If I mint the gear that has some particular stats associated with it, do those stay associated with the minted gear, or is it just a skin after you mint it?
No, the properties that it has, so the attributes that it has, they'll stay with it. So if you get something that has like 3 or 4 affixes and they all had perfect rolls, yeah, like it, and maybe you spent money infusing it, right, to try to guarantee that you got perfect rolls. When you go and mint that, and somebody buys it on secondary, they'll have the same thing that you have.
Okay, sorry if my mic is echoing and having problems, but
All good.
yeah, thanks for those. And yeah, I guess I could just take a stand. I mean, stand down. And if anyone else has some
Cool. Well,
questions,
if you have more
Cool.
questions,
Thank you for the questions. Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are great questions.
thanks,
Definitely.
thanks.
And we are, you should be able to see that too. I know that like I was looking at like other collections metadata and stuff, and it can be hard to sort of see like what the item actually is sometimes. So we're trying to make sure that you can see the FX metadata. You know, when you're browsing on Mavis Marketplace, you actually know that it's something that would make sense to buy.
Right.
Because not all like the recipe generates basically a ton of different items that are quite different, right, depending on the FX rolls that you get and a different quality level. So it's important for people to be able to see those.
Right. And I guess naturally, a follow-up question would be, oh yeah, I just wanted to make a note that Maddow yesterday when he was answering some of my questions, when it comes to the colors of buildings, outside of what the color of the decoration of the building looks like, there being something that distinguishes a player from not needing to go inside to figure out what recipes are inscribed there for their color specialization, but being able to do that from the outside right out the gate, so there's some saving of time when traveling around. And you know, it was mentioned that this is something that is obviously on the minds as far as like the lowest hanging fruit. So that was something I was thinking too, because if I deck out my buildings all black, like how does anyone know if it's a blue magic building or a red magic building where they can go?
So
And
the the buildings that can be customized for their appearances on the outside are like the player housing. So like you can customize the appearance of like you know, like the small or the medium sized house. But you can't, like, if you build like a red mage hall, you can't customize the appearance of the red mage hall. So people will know that it's a red mage hall. Um, People will know that it's like a red mage hall on the outside.
okay,
Is
cool.
anyone else having a hard time sending messages in chat? I feel like
Yes, I'm
I
getting
don't know.
red letters. Did I get banned?
Yeah,
You
I
getting red letters? Uh-oh.
think Discord's having some funkiness, but
Yeah, probably a
we'll
Discord funky thing.
we'll fight through it. Well, thanks, Ray, for coming and asking some questions. We'll get through a few more questions, and then if you have more, feel free to submit another request to chat.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Cheers.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thanks.
All right. Looks like we have another request from Ponyboy. Let's invite him up here, and then Helen, you keep us on track. When we need to move on, you let us know.
So far, so good. Let's hear Pony Boy.
All right, invite sent. But I don't know,
With a
maybe with the
wonderful blue
Discord
wizard.
funkiness.
Oh,
Maybe
apparently
with
it
the
works
Discord funkiness, it might be hard.
Oh,
I'm
we'll
seeing
see.
a Chapel Roan reference in chat. Love that.
All right. Well, while we sort out what the heck is going on with Discord and getting timed out, we'll move on, and then if Ponyboy shows up, then we'll get that question in from him.
Sure.
Cool.
I'll get like a couple of small questions from chat that I'm throwing through. Somebody asked, will warriors be integrated into the game already? Not just yet, at least not fully. Warriors will definitely be coming later down the line. Wizards still have to be fully integrated themselves, which are going to be like in the future patches. But Warriors will give a boost to Quanta earnings for landowners, so you can at least look forward to that until the Warriors are integrated, if any later than that. But yeah, there's just the game is still going to be released in the early access when it reaches live service. So there's still a lot more features that we have planned for the future that are going to be coming down the road in updates.
Awesome. And looks like Nyx just went crazy and bought an Unreal Wizard. Shout out Nyx.
Incredible.
Wow. Wow, I love the hat. And the cape. Okay.
Well, if there are other questions from the chat, we can keep pulling those while we sort out invites to talk, or we can go through some other, dare I say, alpha.
Oh, oh,
Dare I say it?
are we leaking stuff? Do I need to roll up my sleeve?
I don't know, Hugo. Are you?
I don't know. I think we would need to see some like alpha leaks and or like alpha spam in the chat. something to get us going, you know.
Send your energy.
Oh, but which one is it? What do we make?
Somebody asked if Quanta will be exchangeable for Ronki. So, I mean, as part of our partnership tokens, we will be introducing like some partners tokens to come into the game that you can bid using Quanta for. And so if anything, you would at least be able to indirectly, if we don't directly put Ronki, you would at least be able to indirectly get a token from a partner and then be able to exchange from that. But no,
Yeah.
we'll have more news on partnership tokens quite later. But Quanta you'll be able to bid on some partner tokens with Quanta.
So, like, I think good segue. Ronki is like the most like the most insane movement I've ever seen. Like these people show up in droves. Like it's one of the most passionate communities that I've seen. And when we posted recently, you know, we said, okay, we announced like partner tokens coming. Like who do you want to see us partner with? Like kind of the same question we put out there at the top of the show. Overwhelmingly it was Ronki. And then we also saw a lot of pixels. So I'm wondering, maybe we do something with Ronki and we'll throw this on Twitter and we'll see, like, I don't know, we'll make a challenge, and if this gets like 5,000 likes or so, maybe we put Ronki in the game as an enemy. But it's gonna be a Twitter challenge. We'll throw it in Rune Raider after when we post this. This is a Discord exclusive first, so this isn't hit our socials yet. But everyone here gets to see it first. Let's see if we get those 5K likes. We'll have to ask, our CEO KG if it's allowed. But yeah, it's a possibility. It's gonna be up to the community, I guess.
Yeah, I threw that question towards you because I knew you had this lined up.
I didn't have anything lined up. This is all straight off from the top.
I mean, this looks
Cool.
pretty fire. I like these wizards. I like this showdown we're seeing in this image.
I think word on the street is Bruce actually requested that NFT hat specifically.
We have to faithfully realize KG, our CEO in game.
I'm reading feedback already saying fix the nipples.
Feedback's important. Thank you. We're taking
It
note.
is pretty
Yeah.
important.
We need to be anatomically faithful to Ronki. So
Mm-hmm.
that is fair.
Mm-hmm.
That is fair.
That was some pretty fire
Awesome.
alpha. Shall we
Yep.
announce? I mean, we've seen so many questions about it. We want to give the people what they want. What's going on with the next Rift?
Oh my god, we're going back to back alpha, huh? All right. So, Rift, there's going to be another one tomorrow. We're not yet announcing the time, so you're going to have to keep your eyes peeled, but Wizards will be able to enter the Runiverse again, limited time like the previous Rifts, but tomorrow there will be another one, and I'm really excited to jump back in with everyone. These tests have been helping a ton with us preparing for early access and catching bugs and polishing things, and even to some degree some balance points, because I know everyone's been looking for Oak. So tomorrow we play again. We return to the Runiverse once more, and we'll also be bringing back the bug hunt. So if you are the first to report a bug and we are able to reproduce that bug and you send us the steps and media, you will win 1,000 mana. If you're not the first or we can't reproduce the bug, sadly you won't win anything. But the team is collecting all these reports, and then after launch we'll sort it out and we'll get this mana delivered to everyone who was the first to help us squash a bug. Bruce, I don't know if you have anything to add, but yeah, this was a really fun thing that's been helping a lot.
No, yeah, it really helps when you send the bug reports. And you can win up to 1,000 mana. Obviously, like if you do send a bug report, please try to put together one where it's possible for us to reproduce it. So like list the steps that you took to do it. The more that you can do, especially if you have videos showing how you did it, the more helpful it is for us to be able to quickly reproduce and fix it.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Maybe let's hold here. Maybe see if there's any questions that we can answer.
Yeah.
And then Ponyboy, if you're here, if you want to send another request, we can try and accept it. Because I know you've been waiting for a bit, but
Yeah,
they're
he's
coming
saying
my way.
Yeah, he's saying he's having a hard time because he's on mobile, and I imagine
Oh,
that the
gotcha.
UI is not very good on mobile. But he did post it in text, so I will be bringing it up here. So he says,
Okay, cool.
2 questions. One, will all land traits reveal on launch? As example, resources, vestige, etc. I can actually take this one. No, it will not. All the traits will not be released on launch. Those will be coming like later on. Um, but you can still expect that you're going to be able to actually use your land when we launch live service. The entire open world will not be available on live service, so your plot of land may not be walkable, but you'll be able to actually invite other players to your plot of land to access your buildings and such over there. So you'll have there'll still be land usage in the live service launch, and as we have future updates, those other traits that you're thinking of, they will be released with those. Um, and then the second question, and this one is perhaps for Bruce or Tanillo, is in terms of maintenance, how far would 250 mana per day go for covering buildings? Would 5 settlements and 20 lands be able to cover 250? Be able to be covered by 250 mana?
So for upkeep, again, we won't actually have upkeep as a requirement when we initially launch. And upkeep is also not something that we plan on having to be a requirement for like player housing. But as soon as we have kind of more details on that and roll out upkeep, then we'll let people know what's happening there. Just to jump back to one of the previous questions, we will actually have metadata for like so you know what the resources are on your plots before launch. So people will be able to see the metadata on their plots before launch for that. But not all properties on the plots will be revealed.
Cool. I actually didn't even know that we're gonna have some of the metadata for resources revealed. So that's actually news. That's great news. So yeah, if you're looking for, we've had those questions before in chat, which is like what resources is available for what plots of land. Seems like those are going to be rolling out very soon. You'll be able to see those on the plots of land. Not from maybe perhaps not all of them, but they're revealed. You'll be able to see them. Okay.
Yeah, well, two things. One, shout out Brazil. See a lot of fellow Portuguese speakers out there, so let's go. And then we have two questions from Nix. He says, I understand guilds not yet available on live service, but any ETA. So we have a roadmap up on our live paper, and that's all we've kind of said so far. I don't remember what year that one fell under, but it's there listed in our live paper. And as we have more information, we will very excitedly share it with everyone here and on our socials and through our various marketing. Um, there's questions about like reveals and stuff, and a lot of people have been holding on to quantum gifts and crates for a long time, and we will be revealing those prior to launch, so keep an eye out for that. Not everything, but a good chunk of them we will be revealing, and that will be really exciting, so keep an eye out for that. Second question from Nix is, will ponies look like our real ponies on live service? I don't think so, but that will be a question for Bruce.
So at live service, you'll have basically a pony. If you have a pony in the ponies collection, you'll get a pony. I believe it's a brown pony. Um, but you won't get a pony that's 1-to-1 with the pony that you have in the NFT collection right at launch. It should be soon after launch. The exact ETA I don't have yet, but um, we just need to kind of finish getting kind of all the different animation sets for the ponies integrated, and then it should be something that we can put live.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I think people will be really happy to hear it's not too far after launch, so that's great.
Oh, somebody's asking for when exactly this month. We don't have an exact date this month. Just so it is this month. So we need more energy. We need to.
Yeah, we need more
energy before we can say that.
Yeah, more energy is needed. I think the narrative of the rifts is once that rift is stabilized, theoretically Wizards will be able to go. We'll go back into the Runiverse at will, and it'll be permanently live. So keep an eye on those events. Another one tomorrow, so that'll be exciting.
Hard.
Yeah. Georgia Dreams is working his little wizard hat off for sure.
Oh, somebody asked if souls are planned to be wearable in game.
Not for a while, from my understanding.
Not from the initial release, no. No.
Yeah, we haven't announced support for like how Souls and other collections will work in the game yet. Um, Familiars are probably going to be one of the ones that is sort of coming the first, right? But we haven't announced details on how Warriors would work or how Souls would work in game yet. Obviously, there's a lot of challenges to it, right? Like if you think about the game that we built, there's a lot of spells in the game, a lot of stuff that you can do with spells, but there's not a lot of like crossbow based abilities, right? So like to talk about just putting warriors in, it would be something that would need to be kind of carefully thought out and built out over a long period of time. Um, so I wouldn't expect to see warriors sort of show up in the game kind of in the next couple months, for example.
Yeah, and I think like while these are all things that like the community wants and us as the developers obviously we want it as well. There is an entire MMO to balance and release and then balance more, and so there's a very long roadmap of work ahead of us,
Mhm.
and it's going to be really exciting to see in a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, like how much bigger this game's going to be versus what it is at early access, which is already probably one of the deepest Web3 games that you will have available. So
Right, right.
these are all things everyone wants. There's just a lot of work to do still, so
Yep.
we're all looking forward to it.
Yep. I want to say even wizards aren't even fully implemented just quite yet. So there's still even stuff for wizards that we want to add into the game that aren't in the game yet. So as you know, with time they'll be added. We'll just have to wait for updates for when we get there.
Yeah.
Um,
Some
another.
some
Oh,
oh
sorry.
go
Go on.
ahead. No, I was just gonna say there's some really good questions. Like are there any coming events like Halloween? Um I mean, as a live service game, like I think events like are
Yeah,
definitely part of the
events go hand
formula.
in hand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we haven't really communicated anything specifically. But it's definitely something I personally would love to see eventually
same.
once we get past launch.
Yeah, I mean, I think we already have a taste of that, like right now, like how we're doing the Rift events, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
we're doing this lead up to launch, and it's helping us obviously gather information. It's helping us stress test our servers a bit and do like that final little stretch of testing before we go live. But we made a cool little event out of it too, right? Where it's like,
Mhm.
we have some thematics of it, we have some lore drop with it, we give you a little sneak peek with it, right? So you can expect to see that, as we see opportunities for it, we're definitely going to be looking for ways that we can
Yeah.
have some cool events for people.
Yeah. I don't think so. Part of the question was like the 3D party that happened. I mean, for us, like I think we're always going to be maintaining our pixel art aesthetic, but
Yeah, yeah.
that doesn't stop, the Magic Machine team and the Runes team from doing other stuff
Hmm.
with the 3D assets they've made. So our
Yep,
game will definitely be pixel art, but who knows? I'm sure they'll have some good stuff on their side to talk through.
yep.
Uh,
Forgotten Ruins is a large ecosystem. We are
Very.
under that umbrella, and there's plenty of things that you can even be and simultaneously, right? Like maybe we do a Halloween event, and Magic Machine does a Halloween event too, and maybe we even integrate them together somehow. Lots of fun ideas down the line,
Lots of possibilities. Yeah.
lots of possibilities.
We have another question from Nix, and people, you guys are more than welcome to raise your hands if you want to speak on stage with the team directly as well. No pressure. We're trying to find as many questions in chat as well. Will you consider doing some kind of leaderboard live ops in the game, dungeon challenges, etc.? I love the game. I want to do all the game loops, but as a competitive player, I have an itch to scratch. With no PvP yet, are there any game loops that will unleash our competitive natures? It's a really good question.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to
We
put Bruce on the spot.
uh, we have talked about some of the stuff internally, but we don't currently have anything in development that is a leaderboard that would work like that. But guilds are an important part kind of the game, and guild to guild competition, whether it's like actually fighting them or fighting over resources or fighting over who can kill the raid boss the fastest. We do want to have guild versus guild competition in that way. So it's something that I think we'll announce more about once we announce plans around guilds.
Awesome.
Are you seeing any other questions, Meadow?
Yeah,
Helen, is there anything else
I
you
have
want to
one right
cover?
now. Yep. It says, somebody asked, will we have any, are there any plans for any utilities or tools in game that make it easier to find buildings with recipes or gathering stations with specific resources? So I guess like they're asking for like, I guess like a search, some kind of search feature where if you're like looking for like, oh, I want this specific staff, you'll be able to see the plots that have that staff available for you to go to.
We don't have any tools for like tags that you can put on cities or anything like that. We have a very minor thing, right? Which is that if you have a city stone, you can name you can name basically your plot in a way that other people can see it on the map. But a lot of it for now will have to be through player discovery and sharing, on the guild Discord and that type of thing. And also, we hope that really a lot of the activity on plots is happening through guilds, right? Because even without the guild system, you have the ability to give other people permissions on the plot, give your guild members permissions on the plot to help build the plot up. But yeah, there's not like a directory that allows you to search to find like a specific recipe on a specific plot. But one thing to keep in mind is that the recipe system has gotten a bit more complex. So when you burn recipes, the recipes level up. So you can have a chance of creating better items if you level up the recipes. The recipes also only last for a certain amount of time, like when they're inscribed to a forge. So the dynamics are of it are a bit different, in that a directory like that might not 100% get you what you're expecting.
Cool. Awesome.
Seeing a lot of questions about airdrops as well, and kind of to reiterate what we've said in the past, if you've played any of the events, earned or purchased mana will make you eligible for the 21 trillion Quanta airdrop that happened at early access launch this month. So that's going way back to Eve of Memory up until the most recent rifts. So earned or purchased mana, you're eligible.
Okay. Somebody asked about how the management system will work for players' land. Um, I guess they're just asking in general, like because you can delegate land to other people, right? And I think there's actually in game right now, there's actually options to kind of like have some like building management, even if it's like just the basic functionality of it. So perhaps maybe Bruce or Tilo, you want to speak more about how that comes up. Oh yeah, Helen, you have a preview for it. Perfect.
Let's do a little,
Yeah.
while we talk here, go for it.
Yeah.
Basically, you can add other people to your plot to have permissions to be able to build buildings on the plot, and you can add people as co-owners, and they'll be able to remove buildings. But it's just basic plot management stuff, so that you can control, who can use your plot and who can access the plot. And it uses the same system as the party manager to be able to find people.
Awesome. Yeah. So you can see if you're looking at the video right now, Helen's kind of showcasing some of the functionality of it, right? I mean, and this is just the basic functionality. We can expect that there's probably going to be like more added to this UI, but like for now, you can see how it looks like you have a co-owner, builder permissions, visitor permissions. So you can
Yeah,
have
Now that we
and
can build.
yeah.
awesome. Thank you.
Heck yeah.
I'll build on your
You,
land. I will build on your land later, actually. I'll jump in.
Look forward to it.
So in the future, this will integrate with guilds too, so you'll be able to, grant permissions in bulk to the guild that you're in and that type of thing.
And this is the settlement size, by the way. Someone was asking earlier, so here we are.
Yeah, so you can see, so on the settlement, you can see that there are 2 small gathering stations that she built here. If you wanted, and then there's also ability. So you'd have the ability on this to build 3 small gathering stations and 1 small house. Or if you have the larger house, you can build 1 large house or 1 large gathering station here. That takes up like the entire block. But if you have larger plots of land, and you can build, the larger plot is, obviously the more you can build on that plot. So if you're looking to build a lot of stuff, you gotta get a larger plot of land or multiple plots of land. Okay. Someone asked, one thing I like in other games, this was from J Mander, one thing I like in other games is the feeling. It feels really meaningful to unlock quests that unlock different regions. I feel like selling land complicates that. Is there anything like that still in lore/quest design? So I guess they're asking if there's going to be like kind of gated regions that you have to like complete a quest before you're actually able to access that region.
That might be a good Danilo question.
Not for now. The only thing that we have that's similar is that like most of the dungeons are gated by doing quests and doing certain things.
Okay, yeah. So there will be like some kind of unlockables that you have to do some quests for. I think that's kind of like more of the primary question. I think if there's
Yeah.
like anything that you can unlock by participating in quests, yeah.
But in terms of regions, no, we will have it eventually. It's on the plans, right? An important region in particular will be locked, and it will require players to do things around the world, but it's not coming relatively soon.
Okay, Stark asked which regions will be accessible for landowners first. So all land will actually be accessible. If you have a land that's revealed, you're actually gonna be able to use it on live service. But I think maybe your primary question is probably more which regions will be walkable, I assume. And that's maybe a question that we can answer. But even if your land is not walkable, you'll be able to invite people and people will be able to warp to it. And in future updates, as we expand the open world, people will eventually be able to walk to your land wherever it is. Let's see here. Somebody asked, oh, this is a good question from Abstrus. With such a massive world planned at 200 kilometers square and the focus on player-driven storytelling, how do you plan to balance the structure of quests from the development team with the freedom for players to create and shape their own narrative within the Runiverse? So this is actually where creating your lore for any character tokens that you have is extremely beneficial. So if you create great lore and you kind of push your character out there and you make your character well known, the more like the more love and care you put to your character, the more likely it is for us to recognize. Like we'll be looking in the book of lore, we'll be looking at the community, we'll be looking at like cult creations, right? Any artwork that you create, any stories and such. And so the more that you float up your character, the more likely it is to be included when we're considering new dungeons and new areas and even new places on the map to just kind of put as like Easter eggs and like fun little like throwbacks, right? As we build the game out more, we're actually going to be looking to integrate that stuff from the community into the game. So your best bet into making sure that you into getting your character or your stories into the game would be just build your character as best as you can, right? And make your show your character some love. We'll be looking and we'll be trying to integrate as much as we can into any kind of marketing or any kind of quest lines or even decorations from the game. So that's how you can do it. You get your character in there by building your lore. So that's how we plan on doing it.
There's actually a lot of stuff in game right now that's based off of stories that people have created.
Yeah.
Helen, I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about, but the one that's right outside of Hedge Wizard encampment. If you
Yeah,
want
let's
to show
go.
that one.
Yeah, go there. Yeah,
But I think to know, like, you can probably speak to how to keep everything cohesive and the overall storyline and stuff like that. If there's anything you want to talk through.
So the approach we had, taking into account like lore coming from players, was we we worked alongside Elf and Magic Machine to have like a coherent like overall arcing plot. But what we will mostly focus on are like regional conflicts and local things that highlight the stories that players come up with, right? And like the plan is, as we go along, our idea is to include these more and more in terms of like having I don't know, rumors and quests related to that, right? Etc. Etc.
Oh no, she's blocked off. She has to do the quest to
Okay.
enter it.
I know
But
exactly
there is
what
a
to talk to.
there
You
is
can
an
use
NPC.
the no clip command. You can use the no clip command.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Here we got
you're on the dev build. We can just cheat. Oh, never mind. He
thought of
just opened the gate. That was easy. That was easy. No need
Here
to
we
cheat. Don't
are.
worry.
Hey,
Namaste.
Yeah.
skill.
So
Let's do
this,
it.
Helen overcame skill issue.
yeah. So this character is actually a character from the cult. Kel. Kel is one of our longest holders in the cult, And this is a wizard that he created, and he has some amazing artwork for this wizard that was commissioned by Oz, a very prominent artist in the cult. I'm sure he's very well known to anybody who's listening and has been keeping up with the cult for a while and the cult creations. But yeah, you know, by establishing your character, submitting great artwork, like that's really good for us being able to envision how they can work out into the game. And then also I mentioned before that there are dungeons that we have, right? And those dungeons actually give us a lot of like leeway to have these self-contained stories. And within like, so we're able to kind of focus on a storyline for that wizard, whatever, within that dungeon. So yeah, if you have great stories, you have great artwork, we'll be looking into try to feature as much as we can. We want to put cult content in the game. This game is made for the cult by the cult.
Yeah, and this character that is actually the NFT character, so we've integrated that character and what they're saying into here. But even the props, like the artist took that art that Oz made, and then they made props in the game that they kind of like were based on that as a concept. So yeah, like you could make something in the book of lore, you could get a concept artist to kind of create stuff, and then it could show up in game, like the stuff that you've created.
Yeah, I love this stuff personally. Like this is a big reason why I love this project, and we've also been trying to kind of mimic these ambitions in game outside of the game as well with a lot of our marketing. So you can see some of the Rift marketing has been featuring community wizards, talking to George of Dreams. We'll be releasing another one later on Twitter today, featuring another community wizard. And yeah, it's just you guys put so much love into creating art and lore, and I feel like the least we can do is reciprocate that and put just as much love and care into how community characters are represented in the game and in the marketing.
So we're coming to the top of the hour here. I have one more piece of news, and we also have our giveaway that Hugo arranged here for a homestead. Shall we move on to
Right,
the final pieces
right.
here?
Is there any way I can win this? After seeing your lovely demo, I am in need of more land.
Yeah, right? Thank goodness we got settlements. So I don't know, Hugo, conflict of interest, but someone in chat is going to get it, or someone who's watching here.
Yes.
My last piece of news to announce as we arrange all that behind the scenes is that we have our next summoning circle on Monday. This is with me and Bear and Shane. We got together at ETH Denver and talked about our vision for bridging the gap between Web 2 and Web 3 in gaming. So I'm really excited about this because it's really the first time that you guys will get to hear from our COO, Shane. And I have a little preview for you, which I'll play while we organize our giveaway.
I mean, yeah, and look at, you can look at other examples of kind of these paradigm shifts in the gaming industry, like mobile, for example, and it wasn't the big traditional, PC console game.
Where they looked at like this, and
Right. It was Zynga, and it was Supercell, and it was all of these up and coming companies that were more native to the space, right? But there was also a lot of crap in the space that was happening, and just like we're going through a lot of that in the Web3 space right now, where it's hard for a lot of these companies to make things work. But I do think out of the ashes will rise the companies that have true utility value. The fundamentals are there, and I think that's where we're going to see this new wave of Web3 games and Web3 projects that are really going to succeed.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. I'm so excited for that chat. That is going to be a strong summoning circle episode, and I think all the other ones were strong as well, so that's saying something. We're still prepping our giveaway, so maybe we'll field a few more questions if anyone has one. Oh, it looks like someone put their hand up. Oh, Ray. Let's go. Let's bring Ray back.
Ray!
Thanks for being so welcoming, guys.
Yeah, no worries.
So the question was revolved around land. So for my shout out to the large landowners out there, you got to represent. So there's a good handful of us out there, whether you're in the double digits or triple digits, like myself. And when it comes to the beginning of this this roundtable is for having someone build on the land, whether you choose they earn quanta or not. Is it only for one person per land that you can give permission to, or unless it was shared? But can I have multiple people working on one land or one plot? Is that a thing?
You can have multiple people building buildings and like placing decorations of them and managing stuff, but only one person can claim the quanta, the plot owner. So the quanta will like accumulate, and then the plot owner will be able to claim it in the plot management interface.
Okay, cool. Gotcha. Thanks so much for that. And then my last question is this theory craft into the future of 2026. There's like a little roadmap of sorts that just has 2025 and things to come, and then 2026 with things to come. The PvP, open PvP sections of the map, like again, it's nothing set in stone, but just a little like fun time, I guess, before we close out. When it comes to PvP, would it be a two-pronged approach where you'll be able to battle people, whether in a 3v3 or 4v4 party, separate from the world where you can walk around and through PvP areas? I'm just curious on like maybe some early thoughts on how it'll work.
Sorry,
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
So we actually had PvP working a long time ago, like at least in a prototype stage where you could go in and fight 2v2. Um, but the big picture of its integration into the game is that there would be, like you said, one version of it that's kind of like matchmaking. I think that's what Tanil was about to
Right.
jump in and say, where you can go and there'll be a building on your plot that you can place to get access to like a matchmaking queue, right? Where you'd be able to do 1v1, 2v2, and
Right.
4v4. So like mirroring the same formats that are there when you're fighting in PvE. Uh, and then we also want to do, like you said, contested areas. So it wouldn't be like opening up the entire game to being like a free for all PvP open mode or something. Even though as somebody that played Ultima Online and other games in the past, a bit nostalgic for that.
Right.
It would be more like it would be more limited. And we haven't really thought through this yet, but it would be cool, obviously, to find ways to have the guilds be a big part of that as well.
Awesome. And just to piggyback off of that, so I always think about RuneScape where you would like lure the innocent noobs into the wilderness where you just like kill them and take all their stuff. I always theorized in just thought exercises where like I'm running in throughout the Runiverse, no loading screens, open world, and then there's a section of the map where that could alternate and switch just like the resource nodes in the open world, where there'll be like different PvP sections that just pop up and rotate on a timer basis maybe or epoch basis, and you're able to just like confront someone while they're in a farming while they're farming or AFK, right, for whatever reason, and then you just like fight people, and you have to defend what you have on your persons, right, in your inventory, or else you would lose it. Maybe you get a little percentage back if you die, so you don't have nothing. But I just like that high stakes, randomized PvP type of situation, where if you're with a party, you could probably go through to get to the next destination, which is a shortcut. Or if you don't want to lose anything that you've been farming, you have to go around if you can't fast travel anywhere, and just totally go around. Yeah, that was some thoughts, but fun stuff.
We don't have any plans for like full loot or like percentage of the items that you have dropping or anything like that, but we do like obviously the risk reward aspect of that. You can see some stuff that is in a similar spirit, I think, even with dungeons, right? Because in dungeons you're getting loot in the dungeon, but if you die early, you're not going to kind of be able to cash out with everything, and some of the dungeons kind of take quite a long time to get through and have increasingly difficult encounters. So it is something that we appreciate, but probably there probably won't be a future in which there's full loot or anything like that. Although it would be interesting, I think, to experiment with wagers on the sort of matchmaking based PvP.
Right. Cool. Yeah, man. I guess I'll stop it there. And thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you.
All
Those are
good.
questions. Well,
Are
we're ready for
we?
this wheel.
Yeah, are we ready for this land giveaway?
I couldn't
All right.
believe how crazy this wheel looks, everybody.
Yeah, as you can see, this is why it took us a bit to
Oh
prepare
my
it.
This is a meme. This is a meme.
I'm glad we didn't go by this by hand, by the way. I'm glad that I got my bot to pull this.
Holy,
Bot that never
wow,
runs.
wow. If
Nothing to do but
man,
spin.
hold on. Okay, never mind.
Hold
Let's go.
on, how do
I wanted to see some. I wanted to see some spam in the chat, but here we go. We're underway.
I'm
The
too
winner
excited.
is me. No,
Falvin,
Falvin.
Alvin.
Congrats.
please
Wait,
message.
we're sure that was that the final roll or was that the trial roll?
I don't know.
That was a roll. I don't know.
It
Do we
was
want to give
Falvin.
away a second, Bruce? That's your call.
Yeah, I know, right? You ready to give out more?
First with the alpha?
I don't know. Does the chat want another one?
Does the chat want one more land giveaway?
Oh,
I can't tell. I can't tell.
Tanil, how do you feel about this? You feel that there's enough for us to give away another homestead? Enough requests?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
All right, roll it
Like,
one
man,
more
he's-
time.
Tanil's like, oh no, that was my plot. He's like,
Here
sure.
we go.
All right, one more.
Tapping into the team plot reserve.
Yeah,
I
as
love
long as
this
it's
wheel.
not mine. Who's that?
Oh, Hannah
Who
boy.
do we got here?
Yo.
Boy, let's go.
Oh, cool.
Whoa,
Lloyd.
well deserved.
So
And
if our
shout out
winners
Magic
message-
Mondays as well.
Magic
Oh,
Monday
Magic
News.
Monday.
You can have that plot named for Magic Monday News.
Yeah,
That can be
true.
that can be your home base at Magic Monday News right there.
Amazing.
Please
Wow.
message Matto so we can organize getting our plot of land, well, your plot of land into your hands.
Yes.
Falvin and Henboy.
Falvin and Henboy.
Matto Tsuki, please.
Yes, I'll be actually contacting you. Well, actually, no. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll be contacting you. I pinged you guys right now, and we'll work out something. I'll create a private thread to add you guys. Do not answer some shady DMs. I'm afraid that if somebody tries to reach out to you, I will not be sending you a link. So I'll create a private thread for you too, and we'll discuss it in there.
Very Matto Tsuki in this
Wow.
call. That's the one you want.
Yeah.
All right. So we gave away 2 homesteads. We teased Ronki as an enemy. We announced the rift. We got a land demo, a sneak peek at the next summoning circle. That was a pretty fun roundtable, I'd say.
Set. Thanks everyone for coming.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you.
next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Donkey,
Oh, look,
for it.
Ronki's back.
Ronki. We'll close it out with Ronki.
Close out with
That was
Ronki.
Thanks everybody.
right.
Thank you so
All right,
much for
everybody.
joining, everyone.
Stay magic.
Bye. Stay magic.
Okay, guys. Well, that is it. I hope you enjoyed. Join the Discord. Link in the description below. See you in the game tomorrow. We'll be streaming